Hey guys, it's Gwen. What's up? Okay, so today I'm doing a part 2 of my 8-part series about things I wish I knew before getting married, or things I wish I had thought about before getting married. Today's topic is about 2 things. So one of the topics is something I get asked about all the time, and it's about how do you know if someone is the one. And then the second topic will be about the ability to commit and whether or not you have the ability or your significant other has the ability to commit. So the first one about how do you know someone is the one, and so I've come up with a couple of questions to ask yourself and ask your partner to know if they are the one. So one of the first questions, and probably the most obvious, is could you see them being family? Could you see them being the father or mother of your kids? That's a big one. Could you see them being able to co-parent with you whether or not you stay together? If you had kids, could you see that person being able to co-parent with you? Could you see that person being able to agree or compromise on the way you raise your children? Second question to ask yourself is, what are your fights like? What are your arguments like? If your fights always explode and always end in someone crying or someone walking out or someone threatening to break up, that is a big red flag to think about. If you can't get through arguments or even big fights without getting that serious about your relationship, about staying together, that's a big deal, and it's a big red flag. The next question to ask is, how often do you feel happy with this person? And I guess I should say before I continue that when you're thinking about if someone is the one, I think you should be together for at least 6+ months. If you haven't been together for at least that long, I don't think you should be considering if someone is the one or not. And don't get me wrong, these are just my opinions, but I 100% think that you can have an instant connection with someone. I 100% think you can instantly have chemistry with someone, and I do think that you can feel love for someone very quickly, because I had that experience. But I don't think that you should question or think about if someone is the one, if someone can be with you for the rest of your life, unless you've been with them for 6+ months. And that's the reason behind that is a very long reason, but to keep it simple, I don't think you can know someone quickly enough before 6 months, or well enough before 6 months. And I say that because I'm not going to trash talk my ex on YouTube. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start a bunch of drama or try and get views off of bad experiences or bad stories about my ex. That's just not me. But I will say that after I got married, I found things out slowly. Month after month, I found new things out about my partner. And not everything I found out I was okay with. And that's a big deal. When you're married, when you have signed that legal contract, when you have made that commitment, to be blunt, there's no going back. You have done that. You've invited your family, your friends, the people who are most important to you to come see you marry someone, and everyone watches you make this commitment. And a lot of people take that very seriously. And so you have to think about, how well do I know this person? What are their biggest secrets? What is something that has hurt them the most? I won't say which ex it was. I won't talk about who this was. But an ex of mine went through physical abuse with a parent, and an ex of mine went through sexual abuse with a parent. And I didn't know this until very late in the game. And those things are a big deal because especially sexual abuse, and I will make a totally separate video on this, but sexual abuse can change your sexuality, it can change your mental state, it can change you in a lot of ways. Abuse and trauma can change a person dramatically. And physical abuse can also change a person very, very dramatically. And it can cause someone to be angry, it can cause someone to be depressed, it can cause someone to have trust issues. And so not everything you're gonna find out about your partner is gonna be that serious or that huge, but there are things that people take time to open up about. And so you really have to know your partner and understand who your partner is and the things about them before making that step. And so that's why I say, like, before you think about if they're the one, you have to know, like, do you really know this person? Do you really know what makes them smile? Do you really know what makes them cry? Do you really know what bugs them beyond belief? Do you know about their family and their family past? Do you know about their friends and their friend past? Do you know if they've ever cheated on someone or have ever even thought about cheating on someone, or if they've been cheated on? These are all things that, like, you have to know about your partner before making a big step with them, because once you make the big step, you could find something out that you're not okay with, and then it creates an entire obstacle for you and your relationship. You know, whether or not you can continue being in a relationship if you're not okay with something you find out. The next question to ask yourself is, can you see yourself being a part of their family? Can you see yourself, you know, doing holidays with their family and splitting holidays with your family and their family? Or can you see yourself allowing, you know, the in-laws to watch your kids? Could you see yourself bonding with their siblings? Stuff like that, because that's important. In my past relationship, my ex did not get along with one of my parents, and that's a big, big, big deal, because it's not like, even if you don't get along with your parent, sometimes it's easier to get through trying to get along with a parent if your significant other can get along with your parent, or if they can at least be a buffer in that situation. For me, my ex did not want to be around my parent, which made it so that he was not around any of my family. And to me, for my personal self, family is huge. It is a huge, huge thing. And holidays are huge for me. Spending time with my family during the holidays, and just being a part of my family's life in general. And so, you know, some people could be okay with their significant other not liking a certain family member, but some people, you know, that is a deal breaker, and you have to introduce your partner to your family and make sure that they get along, or that you're okay with them not getting along, before you think about whether or not they are the one. Another thing to think about is, do you guys have the sexual chemistry? And that is a big thing. If there's any sort of kinks or things that you like sexually, and it's hard for you to talk about, or you take time, you have to be able to talk about that with your partner and be comfortable talking about that with your partner before thinking about if they are the one. Because not everyone is okay with certain kinks. Not everyone is interested in the same sexual things that other people are. And so you have to make sure that not only that you have chemistry, but that you are okay with each other's sexual interests. Big thing is that when you're thinking about if someone is the one, you have to think about if it's like a girl and a girl, you know. If one of the females in that relationship got pregnant and they gained a lot of weight, would you still be attracted to them? Would you still have the same interest and love for them that you did originally? And if it's a male and a female, it's the same exact thing, you know. If that person gained a lot of weight during a pregnancy, or you know, after a miscarriage, or even just in general, if they go through something, sometimes people eat their emotions and that gains weight, you know. And would you continue to love that person if they looked different? That is probably the biggest thing, and you have to think about that, because it's not only gaining weight, like it's like if you decide to dye your hair, or you decide that you want to wear your makeup differently, or you decide that you want to get a piercing, is that person still going to show you the same love, the same care? Is your relationship going to change because of that? Because that's something I've noticed in other relationships, not just mine, that people's relationship change when one person's appearance change. So your love has to be strong enough to get through appearance changes, because love is not just about what's on the outside, it's more about what's on the inside. Stupid ass hair. So yeah, those are some of the questions that I realized that you really have to think about before, you know, when you're thinking about if someone is the one, you have to think about those questions. And if any of those are like a no, or you're not sure, or you know, it's iffy, like you need to have a conversation, or it might not be the one for you. The second topic is ability to commit. And the reason this is the second one is because I think it is one of the more important ones. It's one of the bigger ones where you really have to think about this. One thing you want to think about when it comes to the ability to commit, you need to think about yourself, and you need to think about the other person. So first thing is coming home every single day. When you're married, you come to the same home every single day. You come to the same person every single day. And in a typical marriage, you're married for years. So can you imagine doing that every single day? Can you really see yourself committing to coming to the same place, doing the same thing every single day? You can switch up your routine to make it fun or make it different every day, like going to the gym and then having dinner, or having dinner and then going to the gym, or going to the pool and then going on a walk and then having dinner, or you know, like you can change things up to make it interesting. But overall, you're going to the same place every single day, and some people cannot do that. So you have to ask yourself and your partner if they really can commit to coming to the same place every day. The next thing is choosing to love that person every day. So some people still have this mindset and image that if you're in love, you're in love and it's gonna last, and that's not the case. When you are in love, it's great, but when you are committing and you are married, it's not about that. You have to choose. It's a choice. You have to make the choice to love that person for who they are every single day. If that person, you know, decides not to sleep with you every single day, or they don't have the same sex drive, or they don't have the same food habits, or they don't have the same work ethic, you know, you have to decide, do you love this person enough to be able to choose every day to continue showing them love, even in the worst times. You know, someone tweeted about the fact that when you are married, you don't just end a marriage because you're going through hard times or because you're in a bad place. That is not the time to end a marriage. That is the time to continue to choose to love the person, you know, because every marriage, no matter how hard you try, will go through hard times, okay? You know, whether it's going through a miscarriage, whether it's going through losing a family member, whether it's going through having problems with a friend or having financial issues. That's a big thing. You know, you can go through really hard times, but it's all about sticking it out and committing to that person and to loving that person every day, no matter what you are going through with them. The last thing is effort. When it comes to someone's ability to commit, can you continue the same amount of effort every single day? Like I said, even when you're going through something bad, you know, when your wife, I'm a girl, so I can make more references and examples with a wife, but if your wife is going through a miscarriage and she has really bad depression and anger and isn't being sexual or isn't talking to you, you know, you have to continue that effort every single day to make her day better or talk to her or try to get through the walls that she's put up because of what she's gone through. Or if your husband like loses his job, you don't blame him. You continue the effort of loving that person, and the same effort you had when things were good, you have to continue that effort when things are bad, because if you don't, you're not committing, okay? You're just being in a relationship when it's good, okay? Relationships don't last if you're only putting in effort when it's good. You have to put in effort when it's bad too. That was my tips and tricks and questions to ask yourself about, is this person the one, and do they have the ability to commit? Give this video a thumbs up and comment down below what else you want to see from me, and if you liked these tips, let me know.